Hi guys, Ameya here and welcome to Want to Learn Programming. This is the 17th video in the series Basics of C Programming. In this video, we will look at what are while and do while loops. Let's look at what while loop is. A while loop is a statement which is used to execute a block of statement as long as certain condition is specified. If you look at the definition, its working looks very similar to that of a for loop. So let's look at the syntax and flow diagram and check how it is not similar to for loop and how it is similar to for loop. First, initialization, then while, condition, then in flower braces, we put the body of the loop and the increment condition, that is which is used to increment a variable which is used in this condition. So let's look at the flow diagram to understand how while loop works. First, we initialize one variable to a value. Then we check whether the condition is true or false. If it is true, then we execute the body of the loop, increment the variable, and then go back to the condition to check if it is true or false. If it is true, it continues with the same process. But in case if it is false, then it continues to the next part of the program, that is the one after the while loop. So let's look at a sample program to understand how it really works. So let's try a sample program to print numbers from 1 to n, where n is the number which is given by the user. As usual, we need to make this program user friendly. First, we include the header files stdio.h and stdlib.h. Next, we have the int main function and along with the flower braces. Now, first we declare the variables. So we need one variables to store the value of n and another variable to move the value from 1 to n. So we will declare two variables I we will initialize I to 1 because we want to print numbers from 1 to n, and we will also declare n. Next, we will ask the user to print the value of n, and using the scanf statement we will take it as the input. Now let's print the number is. Now we will look at the while loop. Already initialization has been done over here in the declaring section. So while I is equal to or smaller than n, that is while I is smaller than or equal to n, the numbers should be printed. So printf percentage d backslash n and I and I plus plus should be done, so that first the value of I is 1. It will check if the value of I is smaller than equal to n. In case we take value of n as 5 given by the user, the first iteration it will check if 1 is smaller than equal to 5. Yes, it is. So it will print the value of I, that is 1, and then it will increment the value of I. Next, it will go back to the while loop and check the condition again. When I reaches 5, it will check the condition. As we know that 5 is less than equal to 5, it will print 5 and increment I, which will mount to 6. So when we check the condition again, it will not be satisfied and it will come out of the while loop, and it will execute the return 0 statement, which will stop the execution of the program. So you try this program in your code blocks to figure out how to write a while function. Next, let's look at the do while loop. Do while loop is a statement which is used to execute a block of statement as long as the condition is satisfied, but is executed at least once as the condition is checked at the end of the loop. So we look at the syntax and flow diagram to check what this is. So first initialization is done. Then we write the keyword do, and in the flower braces we include the body of the loop and the increment. At the end of the loop we put the while condition along with the semicolon. So let's look at the flow chart to figure out how this works. First we initialize, then in the previous while and for loops, if the condition fails in the first round itself, then no, the body of the loop will not be executed. But here there is a guarantee that the body of the loop will be executed at least once because the condition is checked at the end. So if the condition is true, it will move to the body of the loop, and if the condition is false, then it will exit the do while loop. Let's look at a sample program. In this sample program, we will add numbers from 1 to n. So let's first include our two header files, stdio.h and stdlib.h. Next, int main. Next, for adding numbers from 1 to n, we need three variables. One is to store the value of n, one to move from I equal to 1 to I equal to n, and a third variable to store the sum of the numbers. So we include I is equal to 1, n, and initialize sum equal to 0. So next, we ask the user to print the value of n and scan it using the scanf statement and put it in the n variable. Next, we use the do and open the bracket. First, we write sum equal to sum plus I. So if I equal to 1, then it will sum will also become equal to 1. Next, we increment the I operator so that we increment the I operand so that it will become 2, and then we close the while loop saying while I is smaller than or equal to n. So we end it with the statement print the sum of numbers 1 to n is percentage d. So n will go in the first percentage d and sum to the second percentage d, and end it with the return 0. So let's look at what if the value of n is 3. First, it will execute this statement. So sum will be equal to 0, sum equal to 0 plus 1, that is sum equal to 1, I plus plus. It will, as this while statement is correct, condition is correct, it will again go to do. So next it will sum, that is 1 equal to 1 plus 2, so it will become sum equal to 3. Next it will increment again, and while 3 is smaller than or equal to n, that is 3. So it will again execute this statement sum is equal to sum plus I, which will mount for sum to become 6. Next it increments I to 4. Now we see that I smaller than or equal to n will not be satisfied because I is 4. So it will come out of the statement and print the sum of numbers from 1 to 3 is 6. So again, I ask you to execute this code in code block so that you can understand what is really happening in the program. After this, I would recommend you to solve these practice questions. These practice questions, in the brackets we have actually specified which looping statement should be used, that is the while loop or the do while loop, so that you don't get confused. The level of these questions are a bit tough, so that you have already got some experience before writing in some programs. So now the questions will be getting tougher and tougher. So, and these answers will be given in the link to these answers will be given in the description after certain days, so that you get time to solve these programs and then check out the answers. If you have any doubts regarding the programs, you can comment in the section below. So if you like this video, click on like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we will look at what are loop control statements. Thank you.